So how do we identify for these people who don't exhibit symptoms, right, of demon possession? Because keep in mind what I said earlier, just a couple of minutes ago. I said demon possession isn't always, people who be ticking and arms be bending backwards and neck turning and all this kind of stuff. It's not. That's the final stage of demon possession, when the demon completely takes over. But there are some people who can behave and live regularly and have a demon, and you can't necessarily see it. Now, you see the sin that they're committing, right? And it may not be an abundance of sins. It may be somebody who's in the truth, right? Somebody who's in the truth, but there's this one thing that they can't shake. That's a demon, right? Now, how do we identify these demons? This is where a lot of feathers are going to get ruffled. When you know the person and you see the sin that they're committing and you call them out on it, and what they do is they deflect. They say, well, now, even whether it's true or not, they'll say, well, what about what you're doing? Well, what about what you're doing? See, now what I may be doing may be true. What I may be doing may be true. But does that make what I said to you a lie?
Good question. That's a good question.
See, they say, but what about what you're doing? What about what you're doing? Don't judge me when you're doing what you're doing. Don't judge me. See, when you hear don't judge me, know that that's not the person speaking. That's the demon. How do we know this? Let's get Matthew chapter 8, verse 29. There's only one thing. There's one thing that all demons fear. That's judgment.
Matthew 8 and 29. And when he was come to the other side of the country, there met him two possessed with devils.
So he met two people who were possessed with devils. Read.
Coming out of the tomb.
Now, one thing that you need to recognize is that people who spend times around grave sites and around dead people know that they are possessed with demons. But so you see all these black spiritualists and black conscious people who be in the cemetery pouring waters on tombstones, saying all these weird names. They're possessed with demons. I'm sorry, but we don't deal with the dead. We as righteous people of the Most High, we do not deal with the dead. So people who have like these tattoos and everything with the names of people who died and all that kind of stuff, the scriptures say make not markings in your skin to the dead. We don't deal with the dead like that. Right? So these people was already, you already know, they're coming up out of the tombs. They're coming out. What was they doing? Read.
Coming out of the tombs exceeding fierce, so that no man might pass by that way.
So they out there acting the fool. They done came out of the tombs. They extra excited. Right? Clearly possessed. Read.
And behold, they cried out, saying, what have we to do with thee, Yeshua, thou Son of God? Art thou come hither to torment us before the time?
Judgment. The first thing that they say to Christ hasn't even addressed them. Christ hasn't even addressed them. But the first thing that they say, what you trying to deal with me for? You trying to judge me? Ain't time to judge for judgment yet. What you trying to judge me for? What you trying to judge me for? See, the main thing that demons fear is judgment. See, when I see a person who's committing sin, and I say, hey, you're committing a sin, what you're doing is wrong, I'm not judging you. I'm making you aware of a sin that you're committing. I'm not the one to judge. Christ is the judge. I'm making you aware so you don't get judged. But the main thing that you fear is judgment. Don't judge me. At that moment, you know that you're not dealing with that person. That's that demon speaking separately from them. Don't judge me. Or deflect. Well, what about what you're doing? Don't look at me. Because the last thing that a demon wants is, keep in mind, what does why do you think we need the name of the demon that you're trying to get rid of? That demon is trying to hide itself. It's trying to cloak itself so that it can't be recognized and removed. So if you identify and say, bro, what you got an issue with fornicating. No, I don't. What about what you did last week? Don't judge me when you doing this. See, that demon's, now that demon's like, he sees me. Flip it back on him. Flip it back on him.
There you go.
Flip it back on him before they can recognize what this is.
Yeah.
So when you deal with somebody and you saying, listen, what you dealing with, brother? What you dealing with, brother? And they say, don't judge me. Remember what you was doing a year ago? Demon.